Cassie regarded her infant Calvin while feeling both love and grief. She was aware that she would no longer be able to feed him milk, care for his fur, or cradle him in her arms. In the hope that he would lead a happier life with another family of monkeys, she had taken the tough choice to give him up for adoption. Baby Calvin wasn't in good health, since suffering a brain injury as a result of falling from a tree. He had been ill. He frequently sobbed in anguish and was weak and hot. Cassie did her best to take care of him, but she lacked any supplies of food, medication, or shelter. She was a single mother who had been ostracized by her tribe and left behind by her partner. She was Kigo, a different son, was stronger and older than Calvin, yet he also experienced hunger and cold. Cassie was aware that she was unable to support both of her sons. She had heard of a neighboring human sanctuary where kind individuals cared for orphaned and hurt monkeys. Some of them had caught her eye carrying bundles of fruits and nuts while sporting blue shirts. She had also observed several of the rescued monkeys wearing collars and having fun in the trees. In the hopes that they would welcome him and heal him, she made the decision to bring Calvin to the sanctuary. Despite the fact that she did not want to lose him, she could not bear to see him suffer to death. He needed to find a new mother who would take good care of him, and she hoped he would forgive her for leaving him. As much as she did, she did. Kigo clung to her back as she carried him while holding him in her arms. She traveled for a considerable distance, dodging the hazards of the forest, until she came to the sanctuary's perimeter. She observed some people feeding some monkeys with apples and bananas as they were seated on a bench. In both English and Khmer, a sign that said Angkor Monkey Forest caught her eye. She gently walked up to them while clutching Calvin to her chest. One of the creatures, a lady with brown hair and glasses, caught her eye. She got the impression that the woman was kind and gentle. She whimpered softly as she held out Calvin for her. She gave Cassie a startled and sympathetic glance. She could see that Calvin was in dire need of assistance. Slowly extending her hand, she made sure not to startle Cassie or Calvin. She removed Calvin from Cassie's arms after noticing Calvin's warm forehead and flimsy pulse. "It's okay, Mother," she said in a soothing way as she spoke to Cassie. "We'll look after your child well. Do not fret." As Cassie let go of Calvin, she experienced a wave of emotion. Though devastated that she would never see him again, she was pleased that he was in good care. She gave him a little kiss on the cheek before turning and running back into the woods, Kigo close after. Calvin momentarily opened his eyes and noticed the disappearance of his mother's face. He was bewildered and terrified, yet the woman's touch also gave him comfort. He once again closed his eyes as he fell asleep. Calvin was closely gripped by the woman as she felt his frail physique. "We have an emergency here," she said to her co-workers. "This infant monkey is really ill. Immediately, we must get him to the clinic." She jumped from the bench and sprinted over to a vehicle that was waiting nearby. While a different man drove them to the clinic, she climbed into the back seat with Calvin. She prayed they could still save him before it was too late. She once more examined Calvin's face, admiring his adorable features and soft features. As though he were her own child, she sensed a connection building between them. She reassured him in a hushed voice, "Don't worry, little one." "You'll be okay, I assure you. I am available to you." Away from the sanctuary and the people, Cassie raced as quickly as she could. As if someone had stabbed her with a knife, she experienced a severe ache in her chest. She began to sob violently as she felt tears running down her cheeks. Calvin comes upon a bunch of baby monkeys who have also been left behind by their moms just as his resolve is starting to falter. This chapter explores how their shared experiences of adversity and grief helped them forge a special friendship. They provide Calvin the comfort, encouragement, and feeling of community that he so desperately needed. All of the misfit monkeys get strength and resiliency from their kinship. Despite the difficulties of jungle life, Calvin occasionally finds joy and fun when he is among his newfound friends. This chapter demonstrates the healing power of friendship and how it helps Calvin's wounded spirit. Calvin regains his inner delight through shared laughter, curiosity, and uncomplicated moments of connection. Calvin, her infant child who had been with her since birth, had just been abandoned. The person who had nursed from her breast lingered in her arms and gazed at her with his large, brown eyes. The one who had calmed her with his tender touch and made her laugh with his silly antics. Even though she had the greatest love in the world for him, she had to let him go. She was aware of his severe illness and her inability to assist him.